On this episode, we discuss the ups and downs and ins and outs of escaping Bangkok for a sunny, sandy vacation on one of Thailand's islands.
So even if you are still unsure if you're properly pronouncing Phuket and Pattaya, check out this episode of the Bangkok Podcast.
Sawadee krap and welcome to the Bangkok Podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who showed up in Thailand lost and scared in 2001 and have remained lost, scared, and loving it ever since.
And I am Ivo Terra, an American expat living full-time in Bangkok since the beginning of 2016. Thanks for joining us here in the Big Mango.
So right off the bat, we want to say a quick thank you to one of our patrons, Jeremy Winterson, who supports us at the show shout-out level. Stick around after we're done talking about the ups and downs of vacations on Thai islands to hear some juicy gossip about Jeremy.
And before we jump into that topic of the islands, I want to just say something personally. Listen, if you out there are coming to Bangkok, I know a lot of you listeners are listening from other places besides Bangkok. So if you are coming to Bangkok, please reach out. I mean, just recently, I met Robin from Canada last week. He's a Montrealer. I met him last week. Tomorrow, I'm meeting Petri from Finland. And then Bill is coming to town. I'm not sure where Bill is from at the end of this month. So please reach out. If we can make it work, I am happy to meet up and have a beer, have a coffee, just have a handshake, whatever. Greg's a little more antisocial than I am.
Hey, I think the word you're looking for is parented.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes. He has obligations where me, I'm shiftless. I can do pretty much whatever you want to do. So yeah, if you want to hang out, you want to come to Bangkok and just say hi, that's really cool. I really enjoy doing that. So please let us know. And if you live in Bangkok and you haven't said hi, well, damn it, fix that. Reach out. We can have a beer. That's simple enough.
That's really cool. And yeah, actually, I've seen these messages going back and forth on some of the social medias and emails and stuff like that. And it's a shame that I can't meet everyone too. But like I said, I got a little kid, and January is actually really busy for me. My sister is here right now visiting with her boyfriend, and I've got a very good old friend from high school coming in tomorrow with her husband. So I'm going to be busy playing tour guide for the next few weeks.
Right.
So Evo, in my stead, will be entertaining for two.
I got it.
Buying beers with your account only, not mine.
Well, they're buying the beer. That's the great thing about
it. Cool. So this episode is inspired by a trip that I just got back from with said sister. Now, as is probably obvious, I am a city boy, and more specific, a Bangkok boy. And I love spending time in Bangkok and reveling in the sights and sounds and smells of this weird, crazy city. But you do need to get out every once in a while. So last week I spent a few days on Koh Samet with my wife, my son, my sister, and her husband. And I suppose this applies to a lot of countries, but when you say, quote, spend a few days on an island, unquote, to most Westerners, that sounds about as close to paradise as you can get. You got
right.
Blue water, you got white sand, you got little drinks with umbrellas in them. But when you actually take a trip to an island in Thailand, there's a few things you need to keep in mind. And I don't leave enough to always have them in my mind. So every time I go to an island, I'm like, oh yeah. So let me just open here, Evo. Are you an island guy? Are
Yes.
you one of these people that can go to an island and spend 2 weeks sitting on a beach?
Oh, absolutely. I would love nothing more than to be on an island forever. You know, I
Really?
watched Castaway and went, that dude shouldn't have left. That's pretty great. You know, Wilson was right there the whole time, everything you needed. I mean, how fantastic would that be? Yeah, I absolutely love my time on an island. I could spend just forever just hanging out and exploring an island. Yeah.
Really? I'm not like that at all. Cause after about 3 days on a beach, I'm looking around going, I get it. Okay. I'm glad I came, but all right, time to go back home now. Got my computer, got my toys, got my air conditioning, got my TV.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit lame, I guess. But like I said, I'm always glad that I went. But I just, my sister, she's down there for 2 weeks on Koh Samet, which is not a huge island. And that would drive me crazy.
Well, for the listeners who aren't familiar with where Koh Samet is in relationship to Bangkok and which island in Thailand this is, you want to talk about it real briefly?
Yeah, and the reason we went there was because she was there last year. That was her first trip to a Thai island, and she loved it so much. Her and her husband came back this year, and they contacted the hotel. And they said, we want the same room.
Oh, wow.
We want the same hotel. We want the same food. Like they were just like repeat, like Control C, Control V. And Yeah, it's a great island because it's only about 3 hours from Bangkok, once door to door ish, depending on if you hire a speedboat or something when you
Hmm.
get to the coast, which we did. So it's the closest nice island to Bangkok, and I always say that the sand isn't the whitest, but it's still white. The water's not the bluest, but it's still blue, and it's a few hours away. So it's one of my favorite islands.
Hmm.
I really like it. It's gotten a lot of flack over the years because it's so close, and therefore it's very busy on the weekends.
Yeah.
It's over touristed. It's overdeveloped. It's got a trash problem. None of which I really butted up against during this trip or any previous trips, really.
How do you get to Casamet? I mean, after you've taken your drive past Pattaya, right?
Yeah, you sort of bypass Pattaya, which most people should do, in my opinion.
That's always a good idea.
you and you just go to a little town called Rayong,
Hmm.
and then I mean, so many people go to Koh Samet. It's just like a conveyor belt of people, and you just get in line, buy a ticket to the slow boat or to the speedboat, and then on the slow boat it's about 30 or 40 minutes. On the speedboat it's about 10 minutes,
Oh,
and
wow.
speedboats drops you right off on the beach of your resort. And the slow boat, you get off at the north end of the island, and then you jump in the back of a pickup truck, and they
Right.
take you to whatever resort you're staying at. So it's very easy. My sister and her husband went to the Ekamai bus station, bought a ticket for like 120 baht, and just sort of sat back and let the bus drive down to Rayong. I drove my car, so it's super easy.
Yeah.
So many people do it. Like I said, it's just you show up at the bus station and say Koh Samet, and then they'll basically push you to where you need to go. You don't
Okay.
have to think about it at all.
So you can't not get there. It's easy to go to.
You've never been there?
I've never been to Koh Samet. No, I've not.
Oh, okay.
My islands in Thailand thus far have been Koh Tao. I
Okay.
have been to Koh Payam, which most people haven't been to. It's over on the Andaman Sea side.
Mm.
And then I've been to Koh Samui, and I have been to some of the islands in the little area off of Phuket. That whole area, Khao Yai Yai, and or whatever that's called. Khao Yai Yai, that's what it is. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and PP and a few of the other ones like that. But that's been my experience for the
Really, I've never been to any of those except Samui. I've been to twice for about 2 hours each time.
You've been to Koh Samui. You've been twice for 2 hours each.
Yeah, it was for work. I flew in, did a thing, and then flew out. This was years ago.
You know, last week someone was lost. Some people got lost on Koh Samui for like 3 days, and rescuers
Really?
had to find them. And you visited this giant place for 2 hours.
I wasn't too impressed with it. Koh Samui for me it was sort of like Khao San Road with a bunch of sand thrown around it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Granted, I didn't get out and explore. I mean, I'm sure the interior is lush and jungled and waterfally.
Yes, it is,
and
and
beautiful.
undeveloped. And undeveloped. You can't even drive across the island. You have to go around it.
Well, that's the key. That's something interesting because I've heard a lot of people over the years sort of say to me, "Oh, I can't wait to come to Thailand, and I want to get to a deserted beach," and they think that that's going to be like, like a 2 hour ride from Bangkok. And a friend of mine actually was just saying he watched an episode of like Home Hunters or something on Home and Garden TV. He's got
Okay.
some weird viewing habits. And he said that someone from America, I think, was coming over and they were moving to Bangkok. They were becoming teachers. And this guy was sort of like, yeah, I can't wait to see the beaches in Bangkok. You know, and I just hear a lot of people always assume that when they come to Bangkok or Thailand, it's really easy to find a deserted stretch of paradise, pull out a book and just sit there. But that ain't the case.
No, that is not the case at all. I don't care what what's his face told you, DiCaprio in that movie, The Beach. That is not the way anything works. The movie was terrible, but regardless, that is certainly not what Thailand beaches are like. They're a little busier because I don't know if you know this or not, but this is a pretty popular tourist destination.
Yeah. The most beautiful beach I've ever been to was on Koh Lipe, which is down south by Koh Taratau near the Malaysian border. And I took an overnight train. You can fly, but I took an overnight train. It was a 4 hour van ride to the pier. And then it was like a 3 hour boat ride to the island. And as I said, I'm not really a beach guy. So unless I'm going to be there for like 2 weeks, which I don't want to be anyway,
Yeah.
that's a lot of traveling to sit by a patch of water, you know?
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So if you want like a stretch of deserted paradise, you're really gonna have to work to get it. You better be comfortable with traveling.
Yeah, and then it's not going to be all that deserted, at least not in Thailand. If you want deserted beaches, you go to some of the, little bitty tiny, go to some place like Indonesia where they have 77,000 islands that make up the country or whatever. And
Right.
and go on one of those. Now that's possible. You can do that, but it's going to be undeveloped and you're going to have to hire a boat to get you there or a plane or whatever you want to do. But we don't have those really in Thailand, at least not that are accessible to us that live in Bangkok, not without a serious hassle to go do the dessert. That's not what you're going to see. If you're going to come to Thailand and go to a beach, you're going to either find a lot of people, or at least some people, and probably pretty filthy beaches. Sorry, that's the way it's going to look.
Yeah, some of the beaches aren't so good. Speaking of that, the ones in Samet, I posted some pictures to my Facebook account, and I took a stroll along like this 200-meter stretch of beach in front of our resort in the morning, and I picked up a good handful of glass shards from the beach. Not like the nice, pretty ones that have been worn down into like
not sea glass.
little rocks. No, these were like jagged pieces of beer bottles,
Yes.
and they weren't smashed on the beach. They were washed up in the water.
Right.
So I always do this when I'm on a beach, because you step on something like that and your vacation's over. Like you can't
Right.
walk, you're
Right.
done. And then about 8 hours later, I went for another walk on the same stretch of beach, and I got an even bigger handful of jagged shards of glass.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something that's just, for Thailand. It's probably a lot of places, but you got to be careful. And I will say the one thing I noticed on this trip anyway, was a ton of Russians.
Oh.
Not that that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just that it's funny because different nationalities tend to go to certain places, and it changes a lot. Years ago, Samet was full of Chinese tourists. Again, not a great thing or a bad thing, but it's Russians. So if you like really pasty white people with very tight Speedos on, Samet's your place right now. Bob's your uncle.
And a scowl, right?
And Russians are very easy to pick out of a crowd.
Yeah.
They're like the men have all like square heads, solidly built, usually some type of badass tattoo.
Right.
Could pick me up and break me in half like a chopstick. And the women are tall and beautiful with huge fake eyelashes. This is the one constant that I noticed this time. There was one woman walking around this beach, and she had a bright blue sequined bikini.
Fantastic.
Huge fake eyelashes on, and
Yes.
the bikini on it said, I can't remember what it said. It said like get rich or die trying or something like that. Some like funky slogan, but not there to swim.
No, likely not. That is definitely a fashion statement. So they're traveling in packs, right? I mean, that's it. There are lots of them that go and they cluster as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it's probably like you go back home and they talk to their friends and they talk to their friends' friends and friends talk to friends.
Sure.
And then you've got maybe travel agencies selling packages or something like that. And we can't go here. Last year, Krabi was hot. This year it's all about Koh Samui or whatever. So
Right.
I think it just sort of revolves. And with Thailand's tourist numbers going up and up and up, this is not going to be resolved anytime soon. Speaking of which, did you see the pictures that Richard Barrow tweeted out?
I don't know that I saw the new ones.
This was probably a few days ago from the Similan Islands.
Okay.
And the Similan Islands they're in the Andaman Sea, right?
Right.
They're a few hours west of west of Thailand's coast by speedboat, and they're beautiful, untouched, like little drops of pearls in
Yes.
this beautiful blue expanse of water. But there was thousands of people in these pictures just standing around on these beaches. And it doesn't say a lot for sustainable tourism.
No, definitely not. That you're going to have some challenges as more people want to see these places. It's going to be more difficult to get there. I think you had mentioned that there's a lot of Russians there. Used to be a lot of Chinese there, and where they go. I think it comes back to the way that a lot of people plan their vacations, and the way that I used to plan my vacations when I was a young and dumb person, and that is I want to go to the beach. And I walk into a travel agent and they say, what country do you want to go to? And I say, Mexico. And they say, here's a beach. Okay, I'll take it.
Oh,
That's
really?
it. Yeah, there wasn't can you tell me which beach is better? No, it's you. And especially if you're from Russia If you're from, some place, where they don't see sun, but for 4 hours a day, they don't have. I mean, the closest thing they have to the ocean is St. Petersburg. And listen, I was just in Estonia. I'm telling you, that water was not pleasant to beach. I don't have any beaches to speak of that they want to get to, so anything will do. So that they just go where someone tells them to go.
Right. Like in Canada, where I'm from, the beaches are not so much beaches as sort of expanses of pebbles with that aren't too uncomfortable to lay down on if you position your back just right.
Right. Just pull down one of those big pine trees and pull it over. You can sit on that. That's nice.
Yeah, but I don't know. Island life is not for me, and I know that a lot of people are not of the same mind as me, and it's paradise. But and you can find it. Like I said, Koh Samet's a lovely little island, despite the crowds, and despite the overdevelopment. It's still I had a very relaxing walk every evening, and very few people around. Nice, long, big, beautiful beaches. Dinner every night with lamps under the stars again on the beach, and it was beautiful.
I think to me that is the appeal. I am, as much as I love being on islands, and as much as I love going to beaches, I am not a guy to hang out in the sun. I try and stay in the shade as much as I possibly can. And like you, there's only a limited amount of time I can spend on a beach. And that is in single digit hours, and sometimes even fractional single digit of hours, because just sitting on the beach all day long is not fun. Now, my lovely wife, Sheila D., she will lay on a beach all day and be completely content laying out on the beach all day long. I don't mind being on the beach, but I'm doing stuff. I'm walking up and down the beach. I'm exploring the tide pools. I'm swimming. I'm seeing where that river comes from that is now shoving, gunk and junk out into the water. I'm checking out the tree. I like to explore the whole island, not just a stretch of sand. That's fun for a while, but then I want to see what's on the other side of the stretch of sand.
Yeah, that's what I do too. And I walk around and explore, and just, if I'm going to go somewhere, if I'm going to spend a bunch of time in the car traveling to get there, pay good money for a hotel, and then end up just sitting there, I might as well do that in my condo.
Yeah. I'm not just going to sit. I'll go sit when it's time to eat. I don't mind that. In fact, I love beaches because I want to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the beach. Yeah, that to me is fun, especially at nighttime. I like to hang out, watch the stars come out, watch everything, the colors change across. It's just wonderful. That is a good experience to me. But yeah, okay, we're here. Take the chair, set it outside, and don't move from this spot for the next 4 days. No.
Yeah.
No, I have a pool on my rooftop. I can go hang out by the pool anytime I want to, and that I'm only good for about 10 minutes of that as well. So no thanks.
I got Photoshop on my computer too. Like I can put myself anywhere if I want to brag about going someplace.
I don't know, slap on these VR goggles.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And I will say though, I was really not enjoying breakfast, because every breakfast at the hotel they had waffles and pancakes, which is great. But one thing they didn't have was maple syrup.
Right.
And instead they had honey.
Oh,
which I hate when hotels, like one of the bane of my existence when I'm traveling in Thailand, and it's quite common. And especially as a Canadian, I found this particularly egregious.
Sure. Fundamentally, detrimental to your sense of national pride if they don't have maple syrup out for you.
I literally was thinking of, like, before I left, I'm like, should I bring the can I have in my cupboard just in case? Maybe I should have like a little bottle hanging off my belt, like an emergency supply of maple syrup. That would be awesome.
You're like Aussies walking around with a bottle of Vegemite. Oh.
Man. And one other thing about Thai islands, I just keep bitching about it, but people have this idea in their mind, especially Westerners have this idea in their mind about getting married on a beach.
I did.
And
twice.
You did?
Twice.
Is it as bad as I imagine it to be?
It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I imagine it to be like, okay, you're there on a beach. Great. Yep. You're holding hands with your loved one. You got a few friends watching.
Yep.
It's hot. Yeah. The wind is blowing sand. You got fat tourists in the background taking pictures of your ceremony.
Topless too, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You got birds flying over. Sure. You got people screaming in the water.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound appealing to me.
Here's why that was appealing. You know how long was your wedding? Let me ask you that question. From let's everybody sit down until let's all go get punch. How long was the ceremony?
I was about 480 hours.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess how fast my beach weddings were? Minutes. Minutes. Yeah.
That's not romantic at all.
The first time Sheila and I got married, we got married twice. First time we got married, it was just the two of us and the guy doing the ceremony on the beach in South Padre Island, Texas. We were 20 years old, stupid. It was just us, and it was just a quick, and it was on the beach, the chapel that we got married in, which is funny that I got married in a chapel, but nonetheless, the chapel was actually on the beach, and so throw the big, huge, I don't know, 5 or 6 version of sliding doors open, and the water was right there. And that's what we did the first ceremony. And the second ceremony we did on our 25th wedding anniversary, we did a redo of our marriage. And this time we invited people to attend. But we made them all fly to the Dominican Republic and got remarried on the beach at the hotel that we were staying at. And this was actually really like on the beach. There's a little platform that's built and then there's sand. And but then again, it was a, I don't know, 10 minutes ceremony done. Because there was beer to be drank and water to see. And we didn't want to sit there and have stuff blowing in our face. Oh, and then the outfits that Sheila and I had, we went and took pictures in the surf.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. We did it the right way. You're in a beach wedding, you're going to do it the right way. Take all the insanity of proper dress and crazy things like that out of the picture. I got married in my Chacos, not surprising. And that's how we did it.
I'm going to go on a limb too and say you spent way less than I did.
Oh, yes, likely so. Yeah. And I didn't have to bribe my wife to come downstairs to finish the ceremony. Yeah. No, didn't have to do any of that kind of stuff. Oh, nothing else.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to see what you thought about getting out of Bangkok, which everyone needs to do from time to time, and spending that time on an island.
Got to get out of Bangkok. And listen, we've spent a lot of time bitching about Thailand's islands. I love going to islands anywhere. I love going on Thai islands. I have had a good time on every single Thai island and even every single Thai beach I have been to. I have found it enjoyable. It's definitely an experience. Don't not do it. Just open your eyes and understand, or open your mind and listen to what I'm trying to tell you, however I'm trying to tell you this, is that if you are looking for what Greg said earlier, which is this beautiful, white, pristine, deserted island beaches, you want to go do that somewhere else.
or be prepared to spend a lot of time getting there.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, fine. Do a lot of research, because the ones that are close, no. Enjoy your time with other humans. There's only 7 billion of us. You'll be fine.
I'm of the same mind too. Like I said before, every time I go, I'm glad I went. Just get me back after 4 days. Right.
Well, you know what I'm glad for, Greg?
What's that?
Everyone's favorite segment of the show, Love, Loathe, or Leave, where we look at one minor aspect of living in Bangkok and find out if it's something the two of us love about living in Bangkok, loathe about the expat life, or if it's something we hate so much that it just might cause us to leave Thailand. I don't think beaches will cause us to leave Thailand, but Greg, you have the honors this week.
Yeah. Now, this is something that probably we've talked about at some point on a previous show, but I wanted to hone in on it a little bit here. And this is when you're talking to someone who's been in Thailand for a long time. We're talking 5, 10, 20, 30 years, and they mispronounce easy words that should not be mispronounced. Pattaya is the one that kills me. Another one is Sukhumvit. Another one is Suvarnabhumi Airport. Another one is Singha.
Oh, yeah.
It's pronounced Sing.
Yeah.
People who have been here for decades should know this, and it just pisses me off.
Yeah.
It'd be like someone saying, some Thai person who's lived in America for 30 years. Where do you live? Oh, I live in Chicago. Like, dude, it's Chicago.
Right.
You should know this by now.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. You're right. And here's my point on this one. So I'm going to throw it out now. Loathe it when they do that. Just makes me kind of want to punch him in the face, because listen, I've been here for less than 3 years. And I can at least approximate the appropriate way to say Suvarnabhumi Airport. It took me a long time to get there because it didn't spell that way, right?
Yeah, it's spelled weird. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and I don't say Bumrung Grand Hospital. It's Bumrung Lad. That's just it. But yeah, you have to say Sukhumvit, right? You need it's not Sathorn Road. It's Sathon, right? You know this. You know this, and especially when you're talking to somebody else who has lived here for a long time. You need to speak the appropriate language. I get it. When your mom is saying, what's the name of the airport again? You don't have to say, Savannah Mom. She's not going to get that. you need to explain it to her the right way. But for us, when you're talking to us, go ahead. It's okay to say Pattaya. It's not Pattaya. Oh,
right. You sound like a complete travel noob on their first gap year out of their home country when they're going, oh, look, this place is called Fuck It.
Yes, right. How do we forget that one? Right. So exactly. It's either Phuket or if you're traveling with the French people, Phuket. French love to call it Phuket. So, but whatever.
Loathe.
Yeah, love it also. Well, all right. So we're in agreement on that one there. And hey, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we like to say thanks to certain people. Today, we're going to say thank you to a Mr. Jeremy Winterson, or is that Winterson? No, for lending us support on the show shout out level. Now, Greg, what have you found out for me and the listeners about Jeremy?
Well, first of all, as is befitting Thai culture, I do need to why to Jeremy. There's a why for you, my friend, because he's actually been here longer than I have. Jeremy came to Thailand in 1999, so he is my senior on the totem pole of long-term expatism. But I found out something neat about Jeremy, and this is true. Turns out back in 2001, he was racing cars in Pattaya in the Thailand Grand Touring Car Championship, and he even won the race.
Woohoo!
Now, he sent us a video, and you can see him standing on the podium in the number 1 spot while the announcer says, Jeremy went to sun. So, wow. Jeremy, yeah. But Jeremy, he eventually settled down and he got married. But I'll tell you what, he still has a thirst for driving at dangerously high speeds. And if the rumors are true, Evo, he sates this desire by posing as a Bangkok taxi driver. Now, as you know, foreigners are restricted from driving a taxi. So Jeremy gets his friend to rent the taxi, a Thai friend to rent the taxi. And then, he takes over during the graveyard shift when the authorities are usually sleeping and the roads have less traffic.
Sure.
So listener, if you get in a taxi late one night and the driver is going like a maniac down Sukhumvit and the driver refuses to turn around so you can see his face clearly, you may have hired the mysterious, illegal Farang taxi driver, Jeremy Winterson.
For a while I thought, is this a true story? This seems like a true story. And then when I'm still confused. I'm not really sure where I fall on this particular story, but I will say thank you very much, Jeremy, as well as everyone else who supports this show. We have a few different options now set up for you. Patreon is the most popular channel, but you can also choose to send us a simple one-time PayPal donation. We also have several different cryptocurrencies, tanking, hodl. For more info on all of that, you can head to bangkokpodcast.com/support. We really do appreciate it.
And thank you to you, listener, for listening to the Bangkok Podcast. If you have something on your mind or you just want to drop us a line to say hello, leave a show idea or anything along those lines, please leave a comment on bangkokpodcast.com, or you can reach out directly to me on Twitter, where I am BKK Greg.
Hey, and I'm getting back into Twitter again, so I guess it's okay. You can reach out to me if you would like to. I am at Evo Terra, or if you want to skip all of that and just send us a message collectively through the Facebooks, the Twitters. We also have a Line account. You look for us there, Bangkok Podcast. We're very good at responding to your comments, questions, own it, and the heaps of praise that you lump on us from wherever that happens to be. For Greg Jorgensen, I am Evo Terra. We'll be back next week with more stories of our lives lived in the City of Angels right here on the Bangkok Podcast. Choke the crap.
On this episode, we discuss the ups and downs and ins and outs of escaping Bangkok for a sunny, sandy vacation on one of Thailand's islands.
So why did I write who? That's weird. That's okay.